isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. So, students, dream it, believe it, and achieve it. With these two beautiful quotes, a very, very good morning to each one of you. Hope you all will be safe and sound. Take care of your health. Let's start with our Viva publication grammar textbook. Today, we are going to study chapter number 17, that is participles. Now, I shall read the definition of participles. Participles are words that show the characteristics of both verbs and adjectives depending on their usage. Here, it means that participles have the characteristics of what? Of verb as well as adjectives. It depends on the sentence and according to the. Now, before starting, we should know that there are two types of participle. One is present participle and the other one past participle. In present participle, you can use the V1, that is base form, and there is another one that is with ing, that is continuous tense. For example, dancing, flying, swimming, carrying. So that is present participle. And we had the other one, that is V3, past participle. For example, eaten, broken. So you should understand it, and according to that you should do. And here, as it acts or it has a characteristics of adjective, so it is a describing word. It describes noun or pronoun. Now let's start with the examples given over here. Let's look at the following examples. The man confirmed that he had seen a flying saucer. Which saucer? Flying. Flying is what? Fly plus ing. That is present participle. So underline. Take a pencil, underline that flying and write over there present participle. Or you can write in short PR. You can understand. And PR dot PA, or you can write the full spelling of participle. Second example. After the accident, she had a broken arm. So which arm? Broken. So as it does a work of describing, adjectives ask a question which. So here catch the noun and ask a question which arm, you'll get that answer, broken. So broken is here the past participle. Write in bracket past participle. Underline broken. The words flying and broken show actions, as verbs are what? Action doing words. And they are derived from the verbs fly and break. The base form of flying is fly, and of broken is break. Break, broke, broken. Fly, flew, and flew. That is past participle. But over here flying is used, so it is present. Fly plus ing is used. We are not using over here past participle. We are using just a present participle. So they can be considered as verbs. However, in the sentences above, flying and broken, also modify, change the nouns saucer and arm like adjectives. These words are therefore participles. Now, students, there are two types of participles and the third one which will be mentioned right now. Let's see. There are two types of participles in English. Write one for present participle and write two for past participle. So first one is present participle and the second one is the past participle. However, based on the usage, we can also have a third category of past participle. So write 3 to perfect participle. Participles are non-finite forms. That is, they do not change according to person, number or tense. When participles are used as adjectives, like that is describing words, they are called as participial adjectives. Now we shall learn in detail about the present participle. The present participle always ends with ing. The present participle has the form verb plus ing. For example, if it is stand, then the answer will be standing. On the top you can write student, above it present participle, so that it will be easy. Where standing is written above that, not above stand. Stand is the base form, that is V1. So the answer of stand would be standing. Bring, bringing. Help, helping. So standing, bringing, helping. What are they? Present participle. Let's look at these sentences. Karan is walking to school. So underline walking. And is what? Auxiliary verb. It is not a participle. Keep in mind, they are the helping verbs. We were walking towards the bus stop. So here walking is again what? A participle. Next one. We had been walking for 20 minutes. Again you will underline walking. Now here in all the three, what it is? They are present participle. We use the present participle to form continuous tense for finite verbs. Finite verbs are what? Is, were and had. Okay, to show that an action is in progress. The phrases is walking, were walking and had been walking are verb phrases. So what are they? They are phrases, but here we are doing the chapter of participle. So you should understand what is participle. Now look at these sentences. So given, now these sentences may come in the example as so you have to underline the present participle or past participle, depends on the sentence. First one. When she saw the smiling faces, the teacher knew that the children had done well. So students, which faces are we talking? We are talking about smiling faces. So here faces is what? Noun. And before that it came. So which faces are, you can ask a question, you got smiling. And smiling is what? Present participle. Write on above that. Underline smiling and write PR dot P. So that you will, or PART. So you'll understand present participle. Next sentence. Can everybody, once again reading. Can everybody please come here? We need all the helping hands we can get. Now hands is a noun and before that it came. So which hands am I talking about? I'm talking about helping hands. So underline helping. Helping is what? Present participle. In these sentences, the present participles are used to describe nouns, that is faces and hands. In other words, a non-finite verb form is used as adjective. These participles can be called, what can be they called as? Verbal adjectives or participial adjectives. Why? Because they do the work of both verb plus adjective. Now here the next point which they are telling, be careful not to confuse the present participle with the gerund. So we'll be doing the chapter next is gerund. Both the present participle and gerund. Now as participle students is has the characteristics of verb plus adjective, in the same manner gerund has the form of or the characteristics of noun plus ing. It does the work of noun. It is a naming word. So we'll be doing in that chapter. Just I gave a hint to you. What it is? Noun plus verb is gerund, but participle is what? Adjective plus verb or verb plus adjective. Vice versa. So here going further, both the present participle and the gerund are the ing form. Like example, dancing. Dancing can be participle also, it can be a gerund also. So we'll be identifying according to the exercise. Now let's go further once again. Both the present participle and the gerund are the ing form of the verb. But the present participle does the work of an adjective while the gerund does the work of a noun. So please underline this particular line. It's very important. Present participle does the work of what? Adjective, whereas gerund does the work of noun. Adjectives are describing words and noun are what? Naming words. Given, let's see. I like swimming. Swimming is what? Gerund. It is a noun, an activity, name of an activity. The second example is swimming is my hobby. Over here, swimming is gerund. My hobby is what? Ask the question. You'll get the answer, swimming. So it is a noun, name of an activity. Here, swimming is the object of the verb like in the first sentence. Therefore, it acts as a noun. In the second sentence, which was the second sentence? Swimming is my hobby. It is the subject. So over here, swimming is the subject, rest all predicate. Is my hobby is predicate. It is the subject of the verb is and once again acts as a noun. Swimming is therefore a gerund. Next, have you seen a swimming cat? Which cat am I talking about? Swimming cat. So over here, swimming is present participle. Next to swimming, what is given? A noun, common noun, that is cat. Here, swimming describes the noun cat. This is the function of an adjective. Hence, here swimming is a participle. Now we shall study on page number 109 the past participle. The past participles of verbs do not always have the same ending. In all the regular verbs, the past participle ends with the ed form. Example, played, laughed, walked, etc. So here, when I say V1, V2, V3, that is present participle, second is past tense, and then past participle. So the third form will come in that. For example, call, called, called. So the third form, that is past participle, we are going to use. But below, certain things are given. Let's see. In irregular verbs, however, the endings vary. Vary means differ. Past participles of irregular verbs may end in en, d, t, n, ne. For example, for en, broken. You can see the word broken, or you can understand the spelling of broken, that is broken. So en came at end. Next is d, ending with d, a word ending with d. Not all, only in past participle, that is verb form. For example, danced. So your ending is d. Next one, t, learned. Learn, learned, learned. Next is N. For example, see, saw, seen. Next we have NE. That is done. Over here, for example, do, did, done. We are going to use the third form. Next one. Look at these sentences. First one, I shall read. The guests have arrived. Over here, arrived is past participle. Students, take a pencil, underline arrived and write over there past participle. But when I say have arrived, that will be perfect tenses. Next one, they had taken the wrong route and were lost. So here, underline taken and write past participle. But when I say had taken, that will be perfect tense. In these sentences, the past participle has been used to form the perfect tenses for finite verbs. Over here, finite verbs are have and had. The past participle is always used in the formation of perfect tenses. Please do underline over here for formation of perfect tenses. Next one. We also use the past participle to make passive voice forms. Students, take a pencil and underline passive voice forms. Here the past participle is the main verb and is part of a finite verb phrase. So here you have to understand for passive voice it is being used. For example, the car was towed away by the police. So here by the police is the receiver of the action and was towed away is the verb phrase. So towed is the past participle and was is the finite verb. But when taken was towed, it is perfect tense. Next one. This song has been sung by my friend. So has been sung is what? Is the perfect tense. Has been is finite verb and sung is past participle, that is irregular verb. Next one. Prizes will be given to the best student. Prizes will be given to the best student. In that, given is a past participle, again an irregular verb, and will be is the finite verb. B type verbs, that is been and be, are B type verbs. Will and has are helping verbs. Auxiliaries, they are the finite verbs, they help the sentence. But if taken will be given or has been sung or was towed away, at that moment they are the verb phrases. Now look at these sentences. What are they? Example, after the trek, the exhausted men fell asleep. Now here about which or whom are we talking about? Once again, after the trek, the exhausted men fell asleep. So students, over here exhausted is past participle. Here men is the common noun. Which men am I talking about? Exhausted men. So it acts as a participle. Next one. When we saw the wrecked car, that is damaged or destroyed car, we were glad, happy. Nobody had been hurt. So over here, wrecked car. Which car? Wrecked car. That is past participle as well as it is a participial. Okay. Now the next one. The tattered piece of paper was part of an old map. Which piece am I talking? Piece of paper am I talking? Tattered. That is the torn up. In these sentences, the past participles are used as adjectives and are participial adjectives. On page number 110, students, now we shall start with the perfect participle. So here I shall start. We can use the perfect participle to emphasize, that is to stress, that an action is completed before another action starts. We form the perfect participle by putting the present participle having before a past participle. So here what they are saying, we form the perfect participle by putting present participle having before the past participle according to the example. Means what? First what will come? Over here present participle will come and then past participle will come. Some examples of perfect participles are having eaten. Over here having is present participle and eaten is past participle. Next one, having rested. Having is again present participle and rested is past participle. Having taken, same here also, first present participle and then past participle. Now I shall read the example. First one, having finished the assignment, the workers left. Over here, having finished. So having finished is what? Present participle. Having is present participle, finished is past participle. But when taken together, they are perfect participle. Next one, having eaten, we felt better. Once again I repeat, having eaten, we felt better. So having is again a present participle and eaten is past participle. But taken together again what it is? A perfect participle. Going further, on page number 111. Here we shall discuss now about the uses of the participle. Let's look at some of the ways in which the participles, both present and past, are used. As participial adjectives, let's look at the use of the participles in these phrases. First one, smiling faces. Second one, helping hands. Third one, exhausted men. Fourth one, tattered sheet. First one, students, take a pencil, circle faces. Second one, circle hands. Third one, circle men. Fourth one, sheet. Circle them. They are noun. Next to them, you can write noun. And before them, first one is smiling. Second one is helping. Third one is exhausted. And fourth one is tattered. All the four are participles. The first two, that is smiling and helping, are present participle, and exhausted and tattered are past participle. Now when taken together, smiling faces. Which faces? Smiling faces. So here they are participial adjectives. Next one, helping hands. Which hands? Helping hands. Next one, exhausted men. Which men am I talking about? Exhausted. So here that is tired. Next one, tattered sheet. That is worn out. That is torn one. Okay? Torn sheet. So here which sheet am I talking about? Torn one, tattered one. Next one, in each case, the participle does the work of an adjective. Adjective asks the question which to the noun or a pronoun. So here when we ask the question to the nouns, that is faces, hands, men and sheet, we got the answer. Which faces? Smiling. Which hands? Helping. Which men? Exhausted. Which sheet? Tattered. So we got the answers. Not all participial adjectives are derived from verbs. For example, talented. Next one, self-centered. And next one, tattered. So here they are not derived from verbs. Why? Because you cannot write too talent. You cannot write too self-centered. You cannot write too tattered. We have done bare infinitives too. Like a typical adjective, the participle can be usually modified by adverbs like very, extremely, less. So here students, very, extremely, less, etc. They are adverbs being used. Now I shall explain that by the following examples. I am on page number 111. Her behavior was rather embracing. How was her behavior? Embracing. How embracing? Rather embracing. So here rather is adverb. Write, underline rather and write adv. That is, or you can write the full spelling adverb. And circle to embracing and write present participle. The teacher is very annoyed. How is the teacher? Annoyed. How annoyed? Very annoyed. So here the teacher is very annoyed in that Very is adverb and annoyed is past participle. Next rule, participles can be used as attributive adjectives. Whenever the word attributive comes, that means it is the subject of the sentence. Barking dogs seldom bite. We are talking about whom? We are talking about barking dogs. So here it is the subject of the sentence, and barking is what? Present participle. Take a pencil, underline barking. So which dogs am I talking about? Barking. So barking is attributive. Okay. And dogs is the main subject. That is, as we have done in the previous chapters, that is sentence analysis, barking dogs, when I say, so barking dogs is the complete subject, but the subject word is dogs. Now which dogs am I talking about? Barking dogs. So barking dogs seldom bite. So underline barking and write over there present participle. Next one, laughing children ran about the house. Which children ran about the house? Laughing. So laughing children is the subject of the sentence. Laughing is attributive, that is the extra thing talked about the children, and laughing is present participle too. Next one, seeing our dejected faces, mother decided to take us to the zoo. So dejected, sad faces. Underline dejected and write over there past participle. Which faces? Mama is watching which faces? Dejected faces. So here dejected will be past participle. Next one, the injured child cried loudly. Which child cried loudly? About whom are we talking? The injured child. So here injured is past participle. Now we shall read on page number 112. The next rule is, like most adjectives, the participle can be used predicatively. We use the participle as a subject complement after popular verbs like be, look, turn, become, appear, seem, etc. Students, take a pencil, underline these words. They are used for intransitive sentences also, as well as complement also. In this function, it forms a part of the predicate. Now here, what does the participle act in these sentences? They act as predicative. Let's see how. For example, the trip was exhausting. How was the trip? Exhausting. Now if the sentence was only the trip was, it would have been incomplete. And was is what? A B type verb. So exhausting is present participle. Was exhausting, it will be perfect continuous tense. Next one, the script appears interesting. How is the script? Interesting. Interesting is what? Present participle. So appears, again it came. If the sentence was only the script appears, it would have been incomplete. So to complete the sentence, interesting is being used. So here, next one, we were tired. How were we? Tired. So tired is past participle. Next one, the children looked surprised. The children looked how? Surprised. Again, same thing. If the sentence is we were, it would have been incomplete. So tired is the predicate of the sentence. Were tired is the predicate of the sentence. The children will be the subject and looked surprised will be predicate. So it is called as predicatively because the participle appeared in the predicate side. So here surprise is past participle. When the participial adjective is used predicatively, it may be confused with the passive form of the verb. However, we can distinguish between the two because the passive form will usually, students take a pencil, underline, once again reading, because the passive form will usually be followed by an object complement or the by agent. By agent, by her, by him, by his. So active passive voice, when you do passive voice, you get, and sometimes it's omitted. Why? Because it is understood. Let's see how. We were tired of waiting. Students, take a pencil, underline tired and write past participle. Next one, we were rather embarrassed by her behavior. Embarrassed will be past participle. Here they are using the by agent by her behavior. By whose behavior? Her behavior. So the sentence is passive voice. And the above sentence, if the sentence was we were, it would have been incomplete. So to complete that sentence, we were tired of what? Of waiting. So a complement is there. So going further, participles can have comparative and superlative forms when used as adjectives. The children were most excited about going on a picnic. Most is adjective, that is superlative form, and excited is past participle. Next one, I couldn't have been more surprised at the news. So more is a comparative degree and surprised is the past participle. So here excited, more excited, most excited. So here most excited is used. Then surprise is the positive degree. More surprise is the comparative degree and most surprise is the superlative degree. So here we are just going to understand that excited and surprised are past participle. Now next we are having other uses of the participle. Now where participle is used, whereas, let's see. First rule, the participle may be used at the beginning of a particular phrase, as we had done attributive also. We use the participle at the beginning of an adjective phrase, which is usually put after the noun it qualifies. So here before a noun it will be there. A participle phrase is a phrase. Now make a bracket to this particular because it is a definition of participle phrase. A participle phrase is a phrase beginning with a participle and its modifiers, objects or complements. So what it will be? It is a phrase beginning with participle. The starting word only would be a participle, and with that a modifier or object or a complement, whatever it requires in the sentence, according to that it will be. Close the bracket. Now examples are given. First one, the girl wearing the red dress is a singer. So underline wearing, and that is your present participle. And the whole phrase is what? Wearing the red dress. A noun is there. Red dress is what? Noun. So the whole wearing the red dress is a phrase. Keep in mind. Who is the person standing near the gate? So standing near the gate is a whole phrase over here, participial phrase. And standing in is what? Present participle. Next, a gate is what? Noun over here. Next one. The child watched over by her mother played in the park. So here, watched over her, by her mother is a participle phrase and watched is a past participle. Next one. Often, however, the participial phrase may come before the noun it qualifies. In such cases, it often talks of an earlier action or several actions in a row. So, one after another, the actions would be there. Let's see. Hearing the music, everybody started dancing. So, two things were done. One side, hearing the music. And second side, all started dancing. So first one was what? Hearing. As soon as they heard the music and they started dancing, two activities were done. So hearing is what? Present participle. But what is the whole phrase over here? Hearing the music is the phrase. So did you understand, students? Next one. Worn out, tired out. Worn out, the man sat down to rest. So when he got tired, so one side he is getting tired, second side he is doing the activity of resting. Okay, so when he got tired, he sat down. So two activities he did. So here, first one is what? Participle phrase is there, worn out. Okay, next one. Taken by surprise. So one side you got surprise. The thieves were caught. So as soon as the people got surprised, they caught the thieves. So taken by surprise is a participle phrase, and taken is what? It is past participle. Worn is what? Wear, wore, worn. So that is also past participle. So the next rule, a participle can be used as an adverb. We use the participle as an adverb to modify another adjective. First example, what you need is a piping hot bowl of soup. Piping is what? Meaning of piping is very hot. So instead of what they are done, modified as an adverb to modify another adjective. So instead of very hot, they are using piping hot. So which hot ball? So piping. So underline piping and write present participle. Next one, the biting cold wind whipped the leaves from the trees. So how was the cold? Cold wind? It was beating, means very chilled, cold. So instead of that, very chilled or very cold, they are writing beating. Beating cold. So you underline beating and write over the present participle. Next one, we were dead tired. That is very tired. Meaning of dead tired is very tired. So instead of using the word very which is an adverb, they are using dead tired. So underline that, and dead is what? Die, dead, dead. So past participle. So dead tired after the trip. How tired? Dead tired. So dead is what? Past participle. So here students, we have completed the chapter of participles. Understand, underlining, you please do, and make the difference between present participle and past participle. So here I completed the chapter. A very thank you to each one of you. Thank you.